And welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because we believe that we are the most qualified.
And I'm Noam.
About your favorite teams. You were so close, man. You were so close. I'm your co-host, Isaac.
And I'm Noam.
Man, we were close to timing that. Anyway, welcome to episode 120 of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. And before we begin, you may have noticed the title. You're probably wondering, why are we thinking StreamYard? That's the software we use to stream. This is our last episode on StreamYard.
It is?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
The Fired Up Sports Network will be moving to a new streaming platform starting probably with our next episode. So this is the last episode that we will be using StreamYard for. We want to thank StreamYard for everything they have done for us, all the cool graphics, all of the support. And we look forward to working with our new platform. More on that later. Don't worry, episodes will still be on YouTube, and they will still be on probably Wednesday nights. I think that's what we're going to go for now. And it will still be me and Noam, and hopefully one day Calvin will come back. Nothing against 40. 40's been busy, so he's been unable to. He's been coaching high school football, so there's a reason why he's been missing. But there will be plenty more of me. There'll be plenty more of Noam. And there might be more of my girlfriend, too. She's in the room, too, and she will provide her picks because she has to after almost beating me in weekly picks last week. But with that being said, welcome to episode 120. Lots to talk about today. We're going to be talking about Week 3 and the ugly football we saw in Week 3 because there was a lot of it. We'll be making our picks for Week 4. And, we're going to start with our usual segment, What's on Your Mind? And a little bit of a look at the rest of the sports world. So, Noam, we'll start with you, man. What's on your mind today as we get into Week 4 of the NFL season?
Jaden Daniels is on my mind.
Hell yeah!
Jaden Daniels, wow, like that's that breakout game. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready for the league. He's still in Washington, so it may not be like smooth sailing, but he looks comfortable. He's throwing deep. Don't get me wrong, he's been okay, but he's been managing, right? He's been managing a somewhat unsteady thing. Dude, against the Bengals. The Bengals cannot tackle for shit, and that's on them. Jaden Daniels, nothing takes away from the fact that he was just incredible. Throwing deep, I just didn't think he'd be ready at all. I didn't think there was much there. But oh my God, yeah, no, he looks phenomenal. I'm like, Dakota will have to confirm this for me, but if you're a Washington fan, when's the last time you felt this good about your quarterback?
Dakota, she's on the couch right now. Dakota, what would you say to that?
Like the first year RG3 plays.
She says the first year of RG3, if you guys
That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people, and it's deserved, I think. I think he's arrived.
We'll talk more about that game in a bit because I want to start with that game because I think that was the only really, really good game. That was probably the best game of Week 3. Here's what's on my mind real quick. The WNBA playoffs. Actually, there's a couple things on our mind. We'll get into the WNBA playoffs. Two things are on my mind. Number one, over in Major League Baseball with the season wrapping up, the Oakland A's are playing their last series in the Oakland Coliseum before they move to Sacramento next year. All 3 games are sellouts as the Oakland community has decided to come out to bid farewell to the A's. And the Texas Rangers, their opponents, have been warned that extra security and police will be needed for the final game at the Coliseum because there is a chance that fans might riot and storm the field to protest the move.
Fair enough.
Which is funny because if you know your baseball history, the Texas Rangers originally were the Washington Senators. They were the reincarnation of the Washington Senators. The original Washington Senators moved to Minnesota in the 60s and became the Twins. A new version of the Washington Senators were created to replace them. This Washington Senators team was notoriously horrific and moved to Texas, I believe, either in the late 60s or the late 70s. When they moved, their last game in Washington, fans rioted and stormed the field, and the game had to be called off halfway through. Wouldn't it be hilarious that this happens to this team twice? It's kind of fitting that they're the team that could potentially be part of another fan riot. If I'm Oakland fans, I wouldn't mind them. I wouldn't mind rioting myself. I understand why they're rioting because ownership is selling them out, and instead of pursuing with the city for a new stadium, which is what they should have done all along, they're selling out to Las Vegas. And I'll get to Vegas in a sec because there's something else on my mind about Vegas related to college football that is really pissing me off. But I just feel bad for Oakland, and I hope that they sweep the Rangers in this final series. Speaking of the Rangers, by the way, the defending World Series champs are on the verge of missing the postseason. In fact, let me just check the standings right now. to see. Yeah, the defending World Series champions have missed the playoffs. The Texas Rangers were eliminated a couple days ago. It's wild. It's wild. They had one. They fell off big time after winning it all. So, congratulations, Texas. You won it all. Now you fell off. Not much. Don't know.
Was it worth it?
Probably. Well, considering that the team that they beat in the World Series, the Diamondbacks, are on the verge of clinching a wild card spot and will probably be back in the playoffs. It kind of tells you which of these teams has a longer staying power. The Diamondbacks are going to be around for a while. Speaking of the playoffs right now, here's the situation in Major League Baseball because we are in the final week of the season. The Yankees and Orioles have both clinched playoff berths. They're playing tonight. If the Yankees win, they clinch the NL East. If the Orioles win, they keep the hunt alive, and they did last night. The Cleveland Guardians have wrapped up the AL Central with Kansas City, Detroit, and Minnesota all still in contention for a wild card berth. And in the West, Houston has locked up the West again, while the Seattle Mariners are in contention for a playoff berth. In the National League, the Phillies have clinched the AL East for the first time since 2011. The Mets and Braves are dueling for a wild card spot. The Milwaukee Brewers have clinched the NL Central, and the battle for the NL West is still on board as the Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks are all in contention, with the Dodgers and Padres having already clinched playoff berths. So things are getting very interesting. Major League Baseball playoffs are going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We don't really talk about baseball that much on the show, but we will try to do a baseball preview. I guess we will make our picks for the playoffs. So with that being said, because playoff baseball is unmatched. Like, I think playoff baseball beats probably almost any sport other than playoff hockey.
Or playoff football.
Yeah. Real quick, want to go around the rest of the leagues real quick because things are heating up. Preseason hockey is underway. The NHL season is getting ready. We're going to see this year if the Cup still runs through Florida, because the East has been run by Florida teams recently. If you haven't noticed, Tampa Bay won the East the first 3 years of the 2020s, and Florida won it the last 2 years. So, yeah, the East run. Florida is hockey country now. The WNBA playoffs right now are wrapping up their first round. Last night, the New York Liberty defeated the Atlanta Dream to get the series sweep, while the Las Vegas Aces defeated the Seattle Storm to get the season sweep. Now, the WNBA does not do their playoffs based on conference because of how unbalanced the conferences are. The Liberty and Aces, who met in the finals last year, will play each other in the second round. That is a must-watch series if you're a fan of the WNBA. Tonight, the Minnesota Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury play, and the Indiana Fever play the Connecticut Sun in Game 2. If Connecticut wins, they advance, because it's a best-of-3 series for some reason. If the Fever win, they force a pivotal Game 3 in Indiana, I believe. Let me double-check, make sure that would be in Indiana. Yes. So this could be the last chance for Caitlin Clark to get a deep playoff run going, so it's going to be a good game. We'll have to check out and see what happens there. With that being said, before we jump into talking about week 3, there is one more thing I wanted to talk about that was on my mind, and because I want to get your opinion on this now. Have you heard about the drama in college football surrounding University of Nevada, Las Vegas quarterback? I believe his name is Jacob Skula.
I have not. You'll have to inform me.
So let me pull it up here real quick. Matthew Sluka. Today from Bleacher Report, UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka is out for the season despite a 3-0 start. The reason for being out: name, image, and likeness. Sluka has decided to redshirt and drop out of UNLV after a 3-0 start because, according to him, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas did not pay him the money that they said they would pay. He was reportedly verbally offered $100K by assistant coach to transfer to the school from his original school, Holy Cross. But according to his agent, no effort was made to finalize a contract. Sluka, who was in contention, who had led the team to a 3-0 start and potentially was in one of the teams many were looking at to be the Group of 5 representative in this year's college football playoff, has stepped down after receiving only $3,000 for relocating. His reps say he didn't ask for more than an original $100K. This has resulted in a massive, massive discussion being had with some saying that Sluka is basically wants to be paid his money, and that you shouldn't be dedicating, and that now with NIL deals, you shouldn't have to play for nothing on Saturdays. Others are arguing that this just shows exactly why NIL is a bad thing in the first place, and that it is ruining the spirit of college football, and that it is no longer and that is something that I tend to kind of lean to. You're going to think this is crazy. Yeah. In my opinion, NIL is part of an extremely slippery slope, because college football right now used to be that college football was considered to be superior to the NFL, in that the game was way more exciting, the atmosphere was incredible, and you just never knew what was going to happen. You'd see things that you would never see before.
Agree to disagree, by the way, on that being the mainstream opinion, but it definitely had a different feel from NFL football. I do agree with you on that.
However, nowadays, college football, while the atmosphere is still superior to the NFL, because you're never going to beat that atmosphere. Sorry, the bigger stadiums. While the atmosphere is the same, the game itself, one, completely different style of football from the NFL, which may explain why so many rookies are struggling. And two, the conversation about college football is no longer about the actual play on the field. It's about money. It's completely transformed it. We're seeing players we're seeing sixth-year seniors. We're seeing players transfer every single year. We're seeing new rosters every year. We're seeing top-tier talent struggle to develop in the NFL. We're seeing players turn down a chance to go to the draft because they can make more money in college. We're seeing players now we're seeing players off to insane starts to their seasons just up and quit because a quitting culture is developed. Look at how many quarterbacks transfer after one season now. There's no loyalty in college football anymore because players aren't going to – because what's happened is NIL has opened up a hornet's nest in that it's no longer about getting an education, learning the game. It's no longer about the love of the game. It's about the money. And don't get me wrong. I do think that if with college football being the billion-dollar business that it is, we should pay the players. I do agree. But it's getting out of hand. I feel like it is getting way too much out of hand because now it's created a culture in which college football has literally become a revolving door where every single year, every team changes lineups. There is no consistency. And look what's happened with the playoff. Bowl games don't mean anything anymore. You know?
That's true. They
the
don't.
Rose Bowl
to
no
be
longer
fair,
is packed. Look, the Rose Bowl is no longer Pac-12 versus Big Ten. It's just another playoff game. Hell, the conferences themselves are breaking apart. The Pac-12 fractured because a bunch of schools on the West Coast wanted to go play on an East Coast conference. You know, why the fuck are Stanford? Pardon my French. Why the fuck are Stanford and Cal in the ACC? That's for Atlantic schools.
Okay.
So college football.
Can I interject?
Go ahead. I've ranted enough.
Just because number one, I'm not sure if I'm not doubting you. I'm not entirely sure on the correlation between NIL and the dissolution of the Pac-12.
Okay, yeah, that was me kind of getting offline. That was more
if it is connected, I do not know how, so
it's
I
not
cannot comment on that.
It's not connected. It's more of just about how money has infiltrated everything to the point.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand your argument. Let me ask you a question though.
Mm-hmm.
Beforehand, now obviously the idea would be to find some kind of middle ground here, right? You pay the players, but things still feel the same as they were to you, right? Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think, obviously that's beyond you or I to do, but do you think the situation was better before or now? Like, given everything, given the changes before NIL or after, given everything you've seen in the change of atmosphere and everything you just said, what would you think is the better product in terms of what we're seeing, and also better for everyone involved, including factor in everything, right? What do you think do you think this is an improvement or not, is my question.
Honestly, I don't think it's an improvement.
You don't think it's an improvement? Not
all the way, though, because let me make this clear, because I don't think I was clear enough. I was not clear with this. I'm not fault. First off, Matthew Sluka deciding to redshirt because they didn't pay him the full money, that's not on him. He made the right choice there. They promised him $100K. The problem is they promised him $100K in the first place. That they lured him over from another school with promises of cash, but they didn't pay up. That's the problem. The problem is NIL allows for that shit to happen. That shouldn't be happening in the first place. That's my issue with it. Personally himself, it's like, bro, like, yeah, like if they promised you a bag and they didn't get the bag, like what's the point in playing? No, I would say that overall the situation is not good. I feel like college football has become just another commodity. I feel like what we're seeing now is that the tradition, the greatness, the sanctity of college football has been tarnished because so much money has gotten involved. And that's not to say that there weren't issues beforehand with money being involved in college football. There's always been issues, but I feel like it's just been exploding, especially with NIL. And again, I want to make this clear. I do think players should be paid in some capacity. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay them because, again, with college football being $1 billion enterprise, you cannot have those players out there for nothing.
Totally right.
But there have to be limitations. There has to be safeguards. There have to be things in place that prevent schools like UNLV doing this to a player such as Matthew Sluka. There has to be, you have to keep the sanctity and the culture of college football intact without making it just a revolving door where every year you're seeing the transfer portal. You get the point.
I understand what you're saying, but let me interject. Okay. So it seems like your problem is not necessarily NIL, like name, image, likeness, call it them benefiting from it. It's more like the implementation of how it happens. And I think some kind of rules on specifically transferring, I think would resolve a lot of your complaints, to be frank. I feel like that would deal with a lot of your criticisms if they just limit basically luring up players from other schools with money.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean, that's pretty much my take. Is how it would improve? Because in my opinion, college football is a mess right now. It's a total mess. I look at them just like, oh my god, I don't know. But it's a mess for a lot of reasons. I don't want to say that I'd rather go back to before and have players not benefiting from their name, image, and likeness while the school make money off them. Yeah, like I was a big fan of NIL when it came to effect from like 2021, whatever it was. I was a big fan of that, and I stand by all that. I think some more rules on. They're still working out the kinks. It's a very new policy. They still got to do that, and I think adding some rules, limitations on schools might help, especially on like the transfer portal, because it does seem like it's you play somewhere for 1 year and then you're out. But to be fair, that it has felt that way. Maybe not, but it's been trending towards that direction before NIL too. Yeah,
but let me give you an example of something the thing that I think if we're going to have to implement changes, we have to implement, because I think it comes with transferring. Because this is nothing against this quarterback I'm going to bring up. I'm just using him as an example because the fact that he's still in college pisses me off. Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel began his college career in 2019. He is still in college. He played 3 years at Central Florida, 2 seasons at Oklahoma, and now he's playing another season at Oregon. He has transferred twice with 3 different schools, and as a result, he's now in the top 10 all time of passing yards.
Could you not just use Bo Nix as an example? Wasn't he in college for 6 years?
Yeah, there's a tight end in Miami that's in school for 9 years. Bro, at what point? What are you learning? What's the point, bro? Because ain't college supposed to be about expanding your horizons and learning shit too? It's different
for sports scholarships, though, and you know that. It's not fair.
I know. It's just at some point you got to step in and be like, bro, go get it, bro. Either declare for the draft or put the fries in the bag, bro. Come on. Now, to be fair, he did get hurt one of those seasons, which that's understandable. If I were in charge, I think it would be if you get hurt, you can redshirt. But I would probably limit it to only 2 red shirts, because people do be getting hurt, 2 red shirts and 1 transfer. If you got to transfer, you can transfer once, but that's it. And again, the only reason I'm doing this, I say these changes is because these would, I feel like, improve the quality of the game and improve the culture of college football. I think clean up the mess a little bit. So.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah, you could call me
crazy. I don't disagree. But I feel like we've reached the point where we're not going to break any new ground on this subject. We I feel like you're right in everything you've said.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I leave that to the audience to decide amongst themselves. Let's talk about week 3 in the NFL. A lot of ugly games this week, honestly. A lot of kind of one-sided games, a lot of nasty games.
A lot of surprising games. I was very wrong this week, too. On a lot of games. I'm not doing well this year.
Well, with that being said, let's jump into the action, and we'll start things off with, excuse me burping. let's start things off with we were talking about it earlier, Monday Night Football. So the Commanders.
On Monday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually we start Thursday and go in order of games, but by the time we get to Monday Night Football, sometimes I feel like we're kind of exhausted. So I say let's get the big games out of the way, and then we'll go over the games that didn't really matter. So we'll start with Monday. Commanders Bengals, best game of the week.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of the game played, not the best game of the week, but in terms of just in my opinion, it was the most exciting game of the week because holy crap. This was a game that everybody thought the Bengals were going to shake off the rust. They were going to shake off the early season Bengals rust, and they were going to steamroll the Commanders. Washington controlled the game from start to finish and honestly outplayed them. They made the Bengals defense look like just booty. Holy crap. Jaden Daniels. Go ahead.
Dude. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was going to basically agree with your point and say that the Bengals are they've got to be freaking out. Like now we're at the point where I still feel like they're going to bounce back, but I'm at the point where I'm just like, guys, holy shit, you're 0-3. And you guys have been 0-3 before, but no, you don't look good. You don't look like you're improving. You look like one of the worst teams in football right now.
Yeah, because look who they've lost to. They lost to a rebuilding Patriots team that got exposed big time this week. They lost to the Chiefs, which
fair enough. They played a good game.
They were playing the Chiefs and the refs in that one. Yeah, but we'll talk about it in a sec. I think I'm getting converted. I think I've seen the light. I've seen the light. Kendrick showed me the culture. I think I'm starting to see something. There were some calls on Sunday night that I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, this. But now they lost to the Commanders, another team rebuilding, a team that doesn't have a secondary, and they got torched. Jay Daniels ripped them to shreds. Dude, they're coming out of the locker room. They don't look excited at all. There's a culture problem in Cincinnati. This isn't normal, early season Cincinnati with its struggles. This is a Cincinnati team that there is something fundamentally broken with this team. I think it's Zach Taylor. I think that they are just not being inspired by this dude because they used up all of their inspiration juju for the Super Bowl run a couple years ago. Like, they just don't have it anymore.
I've never been a big Zach Taylor fan as a head coach, and I know I'm obviously biased, but Zach Taylor just the Zach attack just brings nothing to the table, in my opinion. Like, genuinely, I don't understand what he adds as a play caller that's exciting. I mean,
I don't know either, man.
Their coordinators come in and out, and those are the guys. You see a dramatic shift every time that happens, and I'm just like, what does Zach Taylor do? Like, what's his thing? He's a player coach, obviously, but like, I don't know. Like, at least I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I'll end up looking.
He rode the coattails of Joe Burrow going off his second season on a Super Bowl run out of nowhere, and hasn't done much since. They tried the same thing the next year, couldn't get past the Chiefs, and then Burrow got hurt. So I don't know what the problem is with Cincinnati, but they're in a must-win situation. Thankfully, they play Carolina this week, but that might not be a given now because of what the Panthers did. We'll get into that. But, man, football, man.
I'm sorry, it's not a given. That's one of those things that's not like they absolutely surprised me as well. But we'll get to that. I just want to say this game, although ending 38-33 in a one-score game, does not. This game was basically 38-26. They scored a garbage time touchdown.
Washington. It was still, in my opinion, the most exciting game just for the fact that holy crap, Washington is beating the crap out of the Bengals on national TV. It was like. There were some really good games this week, and this one a really good game? Not really, but it's my pick for game of the week just for the fact that holy crap, the Bengals got their asses whooped on Monday Night Football.
On the other side, Washington looks very strong right now. Oh well, okay. I don't want to get carried away. They look very serious. I would say they're kind of middle of the pack. Like I'm pretty high on them. I actually, I've been having them in the top bottom 5 teams in the league. Their defense still belongs there, but they're overall, I'm like, no, they can play. They can play. They can play. They can play well. They've playing teams that I used to think are good. I don't know what the Bengals. It's hard to say, man. I'm still kind of processing the game.
I still don't think that the Commies are going to be. I still don't think that they're going to be like a playoff caliber team, but. They're definitely going. They're definitely going to play. They're, like I said before the season, 7-10 is probably what this team's going to be.
I feel like they can aim for a little higher.
Hey, after Monday night's performance, they could. So, on the flip side, the other Monday night game, and I'll mention it because it was a primetime game. Jacksonville fucking sucks, man. Worst team in the league. Holy shit. Buffalo.
They are not the worst team in the league. in my opinion.
They're up there, man. They're down there, man.
For sure.
They have fallen apart.
Matter of fact, I am willing to say give them 3 more games and their head coach is gone. Doug Peterson's out. They have to. He's got to be the first coach. He's got to be on the hot seat right now.
He's on the hot seat, and dude, like that might have been the worst blowout of the season so far. Buffalo manhandled them. I thought Jacksonville was going to be competitive because the Jags have a habit of being really competitive with the Bills for some stupid reason. Not this game. Josh Allen is like now a front runner for MVP because he absolutely massacred the Jags. The crazy thing about it, the Bills are proving right now this season so far that they really don't need Stephon Diggs, and the other pieces that left in the offseason really didn't impact them as much as we thought they would because Josh Allen, James Cook, and the rest of the guys have pulled their weight up, and this team is frightening.
You got to give credit to Josh Allen though here, right?
No. Josh Allen is carrying a big chunk of
it. If this continues, Josh Allen will win MVP by a large margin. At some point, I feel like he'll come back to earth a little bit, but he is playing like the best quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah,
I would say so. Anyways, I mean, PFF has him at 4, but his passing is a little lower. Yeah, but I would say, yeah, he's honestly very, very, very impressive right now. The Bills are. I don't know how much I trust their defense, but Josh Allen is cooking. They look absolutely amazing. The Jags look like they are in free fall. Trevor looks terrible. Something's missing with that. Like I don't know if you saw pick in the middle, the one in the middle, just ugly interception. Ugly.
Is that our dumbass interception of the week?
It's up there. I don't know what he was doing, but there's been a couple picks like this week that I was just like, oh man, what was he seeing? He threw one of them. He threw one of them if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Trevor. Something is wrong in Jacksonville. I thought they were going to be way better than this. Didn't you think they were going to be better than this? I thought they were going to be like
Jacksonville was going to bounce back from last year's collapse. I didn't think that, but I didn't think they were going to win the division because I thought the Colts and Texans are going to be up there, which they probably still are.
I think maybe not had them winning the division or something. I feel stupid as shit.
Let me check because I think
they are 0-3, and they do not have an easy schedule ahead. Well, they don't. It's a Texans, Colts, Bears, Patriots, Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions. I'm sorry.
You had Houston winning the division, so.
And then Houston, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I give them who are they better than in my opinion? Okay, Washington, Chicago. I can give them Chicago, and I can see them maybe upsetting Indianapolis. So that's 2. They could easily go. Let's see, 1-2, 2 and no. Okay, that's 3-1. Okay, the next 3 games look okay. Past that though. Look at their schedule. Look at after the Patriots, Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions, Texans again. That's 5 straight losses right there.
Yeah. Real quick, before we move on, the Commanders-Bengals Monday Night Football game. Shout out to Dakota. She just sent this to me. First game in 84 years with 0 turnovers and 0 punts.
Really? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they made up for that with a couple of missed field goals by Evan McPherson. Ooh, we better not have had him in fantasy. Okay, let's what we're going to do now, so we can get into good conversation about the good games. We're going to speed run the not good games. We're each going to give a little paragraph or 2 on our thoughts on the game. These are all the games that weren't one-score games that were kind of just blah. If you got something to say, we'll say it. So Thursday night, the Jets have a coming-out party for the ages for Aaron Rodgers as he leads them to a 24-3 win over the Patriots. This is the Jets team that I thought we were going to see this year, and this is also the Patriots team I thought we were going to see this year. Patriots are clearly rebuilding, and the Jets now look scary good because the boogeyman has woken up, and Brett Coleman had the best tweet of the night when he tweeted, so this is how those British kids felt when Voldemort came back.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. Yeah. I agree with everything you say. The Jets, Rodgers looked like he woke up and is like, he doesn't have to be great for them to win, but he was great there. He looked like he was in MVP form again. It's like that was top 5 quarterback level, just dissecting the Patriots team, who I thought would play much scrappier. The Jets defense woke up. We kind of knew they would. Robert Saleh was going to get his shit together. They look good.
Yeah.
Patriots look bad.
On Sunday, in the battle of the league's two top defenses, the Steelers won out in a rare offensive showing as Pittsburgh wins 20-10 over Jim Harbaugh's Chargers. So if this Steelers team can figure its offense out, which they're slowly starting to do, they might be the best team in the league because that defense is insane. Like
their defense is phenomenal. Their
defense is so. LA's not that bad either because they fought hard. This was a good game until the fourth quarter when the Steelers pulled away. But yeah, that Pittsburgh defense is looking like the old steel curtain of the 70s. They are frighteningly good. They have allowed 23 points in 3 games. That's really good.
Yeah, they're phenomenal right now. I'm not going to talk about their defense because you just did, and I agree. I'm going to talk about Justin Fields, who I thought played a very good game here. I thought he was really, really impressive. I thought he'd been okay so far. He showed us some things that were great, some things that were not, but nothing incredible. Week 1, he was week 2. Week 3, he played an absolutely amazing game, and I was very impressed. So, good on him. And, yeah, like you said, if they figure this out, they are going to be scary. They are going to be a scary team. Oh, my gosh.
I'll let you take the lead on this next one because speaking of scary teams, the Minnesota Vikings are continuing their insane start to the year with a 34-7 thrashing of the Houston Texans. All right, no excuses now. Explain, like what's going on here,
dude? It's the Texans. Like I have no explanation for how the Vikings. Okay, no, it's the coaching. It's the coaching. The Vikings coaching is incredible. They have, in my opinion, right now, the best coaching staff. They are the most impressive coaching staff I've seen. I still feel like their defense, not the craziest talent, but Brian Flores, dude. Brian Flores is getting everyone playing on board. He is coming up with these things to just, and he's been battling like good offensive coordinators week after week after week. Like, I don't even there's the reason they're starting. Okay. The Giants was not week after week after week after week after week. Okay. They played, Kyle Shanahan and the Niners, which is, we talk about that as if it's an unstoppable offense for good reason, but it is possible to scheme against it. And he had them playing well. Then they annihilated the Texans. That high-powered offense, your MVP pick, CJ Stroud, which I would think is a great MVP pick, although I might think of Sam Darnold now if he keeps playing like this, couldn't do anything. Like, it was just everything clicked right for the Vikings, and the Texans looked horrible, man. Like, I don't know. I don't have an explanation outside of that. Like, it looks. I don't know. That's all I have to say on it. I can't. You try to explain it. I sure can't. Other than Sam Darnold playing amazing.
They are the 1999 St. Louis Rams reincarnated, and that St. Louis team, I think in either the third or fourth game, beat the crap out of the San Francisco 49ers, who, if you recall your NFL history, were pretty damn good in the 90s. This was their 49ers game. Sam Darnold is an MVP favorite. That defense is insane. I'm just going to throw this up because CJ Stroud had a pick in that game that is my candidate for the Daniel Jones dumbest
interception. Danny Dimes. Okay.
Because goddamn CJ, what the fuck? I'm so lucky Jade Daniels balled out because CJ fucked my fantasy team, and he gets this for that. Texans scare me. Texans scare me in the bad way because they have not looked super impressive through 3 games. I don't know what else to say. Minnesota, on the other hand, I'm fully on board the Vikings train, which means they're probably going to lose this week, but I'm on board. I love it. Go Vikes, baby.
It's hard to bet against them when they're playing like this. Just absolutely incredible, firing on all cylinders. Let's see how far this train can take. Honestly,
hey, the 3 games so far, they've had 3 pretty one-sided games. I think they're the only team in the league that has been convincingly winning their contests, and against good teams too. They beat the Niners and the Texans.
And they annihilated the Texans, and good teams, and the Giants, who are, of course, abysmal. But yes,
honey pimento sandwich. What do you think about that?
I haven't had it yet.
I don't know.
Let me know how it is, Miguel.
What is that from?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Ooh, okay. We'll continue real quick. Okay. After playing like Super Bowl contenders for the first 2 weeks of the season, the Buccaneers got blown the fuck out by Bo Nix and the Broncos. I don't want to talk about this game, so I'll let you talk about it. No,
I was wondering what your opinion was the entire time I was watching the score, and I was just like, that's like when you're watching the Red Wedding, you're like, I was like, oh man, Isaac's got to be in shambles. This is, what the hell happened? How do you get exposed like this? Everything good you could say about them for the first 2 weeks. The opposite. Baker looked terrible.
We got cocky, man. We beat the Lions and thought we're hot shit and thought we were Super Bowl contenders. That's the problem with the Bucs, man. You can't let the Bucs have good things because the next thing you know, bam. Same thing happened during both of our Super Bowl runs. We would get cocky and say, "Oh, we're contenders," and then some bum ass team would blow us out. It's always shit. Shit always happens. So I was to Denver in those ugly, fugly uniforms, man. Like
the Broncos looked good. You guys, I don't think they are. I think they're good. I think they're dogs.
Nah, the Broncos are shit, man. I
think they're like bottom 10 team, 20.
Yeah, they are.
22 to 28th or something like that, somewhere in that range. Like they're not good. You guys made them look really good. Like what the hell happened? How does a team collapse like this? It's not even like, okay, the Texans just got blown out by the Vikings. The Vikings are on something, right? Like there's clearly something there. The Denver is a mess right now. What the fuck happened? Baker, oh man. What the fuck, Baker? What was that?
I don't want to talk about it.
Any of that. I need you to explain to me how your team can let me down like that. There's no, maybe you guys, it's hard to go into Detroit and win, right? You guys went into Detroit and beat them in a very, very tough matchup. Maybe you guys were just gassed and kind of figured you had an easy matchup and just got caught completely lacking, and Denver came to play here. But oh my God, like at home, like the Broncos come in and just thoroughly whoop them. Nah, something's wrong with that.
I don't want to talk about it. Next
we
game.
can move on. We'll see how this might be a fluke. We'll see how they do against the Eagles.
Yeah. Malik Willis got revenge against the Titans as the Packers smash them 30-14. Pretty simple here. Titans are a trash organization and a trash team, but also the Packers are beating teams convincingly with Malik Willis.
Yeah.
So once Jordan Love comes back, this team might be a monster.
So that's actually what I was going to say, because it's not really being talked about that much, I think, is like the fact that the Packers have shown so much without Jordan Love, and he is like an MVP level quarterback. So they get him back this week, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll see how, this might be the end of the Vikings run of luck. We'll see, but like, holy shit. The Packers look like maybe the most dangerous. They're up there. They're one of the most dangerous teams in the league. We'll see. They're still young, but they've definitely impressed.
Packers,
Titans,
Vikings,
like you said, you summed them up there.
Yeah, Packers Vikings this week is going to feed families. The Titans are trash, and Will Levis is, oh my God, he's
Jameis Winston.
He is, but not funny.
But also not a bad person.
Yeah, it's a shame. Jameis Winston is so fucking funny, but I can't be happy about it because I know what he did at Florida State. I know all the accusations. I know the shit that got covered up.
Let's look at that, Isaac. You see it? Look at it. It's a dub. I'm gonna eat it.
I hate this so much. I just want to say this again. I know I say this every year when football season comes around, but
how is this a dub?
But Jameis Winston college Super Bowl with how good that roster was, and he did nothing with them. Nothing.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway, what else we got from dumb games we can talk about? I kind of want to talk about this one. Well, let me knock out the ones that we don't have much to say about. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just start knocking off games. All right. Eagles Saints. That is what we call in the business a perfect defensive game, in that it was 3-0 entering the fourth quarter, and then it got really good.
I watched this game like live. I was like,
I hate to say this, but I got off to this game. It was wonderful to see the Saints humbled like that.
Humbled?
Okay, you go first.
How are you going to get off to the Saints barely losing against a top 5 team while your team lost by 20 to one of the worst teams in the league at the same time?
Bro, it don't matter how the Saints lost. The fact that they lost is enough. That's
that is. I did ask for an explanation, and that is it. So fair enough.
Yeah.
But
also, it's like they talked all the shit about how they were gonna, break the record for most points scored through 3 weeks, and then the Eagles defense shut them down. So.
Oh yeah, it was a great defensive game. It was. Yeah, the Eagles defense played hard, and the Saints, they're trying to get the running game involved. Alvin Kamara did not do shit for me in fantasy. I mean, they really kept them there. Yeah. But to be honest, the Saints defense was playing impeccable against Jalen Hurts the entire game. Like, oh my God, almost every. He did enough for them to win. But to be honest, it gave me a sensation that like the Eagles are kind of I don't want to say fluky, but they're lacking a little bit of stability right now. They need to lock in with a system that's going to work, because I feel they are 1 or 2 fluke plays away from losing this game, and the Saints being 3-0.
I think the Eagles just need to keep feeding the ball to Saquon Barkley. He had an insane game.
Just see that run.
Yeah, feed the ball to Saquon, you'll be fine. But yeah, there is something about the Eagles that's a little fluky. Again, we'll see more of it as the season progresses. I think we'll see if they can fix it. I don't know what to say, but I don't want to say good things about the Saints, so I'm just going to move to the next game. This was a good game, though. All right, these 2 games weren't good games, but they were close, so I guess we got to talk about them. Giants-Browns. Cleveland scored 2 seconds into the game off of like a fumbled kickoff and immediately scored, then got the shit beat out of them the rest of the game, basically, by the Giants. Malik Neighbors might actually help solve the problem of Daniel Jones, because this kid is insane. And
oh man, he looks so freaking good. He's incredible stuff from Malik Neighbors. The Giants still don't look great overall. That defense, though, that defensive line, Dexter Lawrence, dude, they were crazy. That being said, I don't want, the Giants are the Giants, and until I can comment on individual players being, good or bad, but really, until the Giants show me anything, I'm just gonna, they're the Giants. Cleveland, what the? Get rid of Deshaun Watson. He is awful. He's so bad.
Dude, they can't though, because guess who their backup is? Jameis Winston.
Yeah, it's Jameis. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Jameis is put him in. Like, I understand you're going from arguably rapist quarterback to other arguably rapist quarterback. I understand, but I also understand that ownership has made a huge commitment to Deshaun Watson with that awful contract. But dude, he sucks. He can't play. They miss Joe Flacco. They miss 38-year-old Joe Flacco because he came in with nothing to lose and showed this team that they can be great. They're too talented to even defensively. It's like they can try to keep them in the game, but it's like,
bro, it's like
you have no offense. Put in Winston. He can play better than Watson.
How
he can't be worse.
You lose to the Giants? You know what? I was gonna give this to. There's a lot of teams I could give this to actually, but you know what? I'll hold off. There's one team in particular I'm going to give the Goober of the Week to that we'll get to in a sec. But
no, you got to get to the Browns.
Dude, there's another team that we got to give it to.
Okay.
There's another team. We'll get to them in a second. But Browns are runner-up for Goober of the Week. How? How do you lose to the Giants? What the hell, man?
Dude, their quarterback is dog shit. Deshaun Watson, retire. You're done. You're out of football.
I will say this. Our scumbag of the week is ESPN Bet, who made a post on TikTok about how Devin Singletary intentionally stopped short of the goal line because he wasn't trying to play it safe and not give the Browns the ball back, and allow the Giants to kneel out the clock. He knew that the game was going to hit the over, so he screwed over all the better. Yeah, they deleted it. They deleted that post.
They actually did that?
Yeah, ESPN Bet literally accused him of
fixing a game.
Of fixing a game. They deleted that shit. If I'm Devin
deleted that shit, they might have to invest in a lawyer. That's a criminal.
Yeah, if I'm Devin Singletary, I'm suing because what the fuck? Like,
what the hell?
Scumbag of the week goes to ESPN. Dude, why is the number one sports news site in the world allowed to run a sports book? Why?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Fuck ESPN.
That's all I'll say about that.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Okay, Colts get their first win of the season as they take down the Bears. But Caleb Williams does have his first pretty solid game, passing for over 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He also is getting massacred because his O-line is trash. Both quarterbacks in this game made some horrible throws. In fact, Daniel Jones' dumbass interception of the week goes to Anthony Richardson for that pick in the end zone. Good God, man. What the hell, man? Jesus Christ.
Anthony Richardson
might not be it.
It's one game. He's had a very mixed bag, right? He's been explosive and flashy, but also like because he's surprised so many people. People are not commenting a lot on the lows, but they were there. They showed up last week. It just was disguised by the fact that I believe they won. Not the case here. They did not look good, or he did not look good. He looked pretty bad.
Their running game looked
I was-
phenomenal though,
I was
but like
wrong. They lost.
Colts, Jesus Christ.
I was. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I had it mixed up. He looked impressive in their losses, but in their win, he did not look good at all.
No.
But they did pull away with the victory.
I will say Caleb Williams had some throws that I thought were phenomenal. The problem is that they were overthrows because he has to run for his life. Like the Bears, for the love of God, get on offensive line, protect this man. He can make those deep throws. For the love of God, help him. And also get better play calling. Like, what the hell was that play call on 4th and goal where they just decided to run an outside sweep on 4th and goal? Like, bro, get some big bodies in there and run through a motherfucker's face. What are we doing? I'm not a Chicago fan, but I want Caleb Williams to succeed because he's the first true Gen Z quarterback, and he pissed people off in college for being weird and quirky, and I love that.
Yeah. No, I don't know how I feel about Caleb yet. It's too early to say, but he's in a situation which is horrible. And he's showing something. Like I know we've said this before, but landing spot is everything, and he did not have a good landing spot. So I don't know. That's all I got to say about that. The Colts, it's hard to believe in. They need something. The Bears need something more.
Yeah, I mean, man, more quarterbacks, more potential first-round picks need to pull a John Elway and just tell teams that draft them, hell no, y'all garbage. I still can't believe that no one has done that since John Elway. If you don't know, oh yeah, Eli did he?
Eli, he's drafted by the Chargers.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Huh. Okay. My bad.
I corrected you on an NFL history.
Did Eli refuse to play for the Chargers though?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. If you don't know, because I know there might be some younger people who weren't watching football at the time. In 2004, the Chargers took Eli Manning with the number 1 overall pick, and Manning straight up told the Chargers, "I ain't playing for you." So they traded his rights to the Giants.
Philip. They traded
Phillip
quarterback.
Rivers.
They had just picked Philip Rivers.
Yeah,
They just
which
swapped
worked out great for both of them. The OG version of this, and the one that's real that I think is more hilarious, is that in 1982, the Baltimore Colts went winless and had the number 1 pick in the draft. They took Stanford quarterback John Elway, who said, "If you draft me, I will play baseball instead with the Yankees." The Colts drafted him anyway. Elway said, "Fuck the NFL," signed with the Yankees, only for the Colts to freak out. Rights to Chris Hinton, to the Denver Broncos for their draft pick, Chris Hinton. Chris Hinton had a solid career. John Elway went on to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So more quarterbacks need to pull that strategy because literally John Elway took one look at the situation in Baltimore, the Colts on the verge of relocating with a terrible coach and a terrible team, and said, "Yeah, I'm not playing for that." Like college kids, first-round draft picks, take control. You take control. Hold out. Tell teams if you. It's like when the Bucks drafted Bo Jackson and he decided to go play baseball instead because he wasn't going to Tampa. Like, there's nuance to that. There's more stuff involved in that. But,
moving on, please.
Yeah. Let's move to the late games. Real quick, we got a comment here. Who won in the Dallas Ravens game? I missed the last 2 minutes of it.
I wouldn't be wearing this shirt otherwise.
Yeah, we'll start with that one. Real quick, I will mention this game real quick. Seattle beat the shit out of Miami 24-3. Skylar Thompson got hurt, and the Dolphins' third-string quarterback is Tim Boyle.
For a minute, they're going to get Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley. They need Tua.
No.
They probably won't get him because concussion.
Oh yeah. He's out for the foreseeable future, I think, and or at least a couple weeks. They have he's a system quarterback, but he operates it well, and the Miami without him is the worst team in the league. Like, they are the worst team in the league since now that Carolina can win games. That's all I got to say about that one.
Yeah. Seattle, by the way, I need Seattle to beat like a really good team for me to take them seriously, but they look good.
Agreed. Exactly. Yeah, exactly the same. That's exactly how I feel about them.
All right. Ravens Cowboys. So that might have been the best game of the week. That was fun. You almost blew that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I was in shambles the whole game.
What is it with you guys and blowing leads late in the fourth quarter?
That's just our thing lately. Like the last 2 years, it's just been our thing. I don't know why. It's not a thing throughout our history, but last 2 years we've blown like 10 leads. But we held on to this one. We figured out an identity, running the ball. Yeah. Baltimore. Lamar can throw the ball well, but he does not have to play hero ball all the time.
Yeah.
He can, but our team is designed. Marcus Whitman said this, and I was like, that is exactly what it is. This team is built for a Greg Roman offense. So Todd Monken trying to do other things is great. And we've seen the failings of a Greg Roman offense before, plenty of times. But just because we can do those other things does not mean we constantly should. We should cater to how this offense is built with run blocking and everything like that. The offense is built to be a Greg Roman offense, so treat it like that. And when you need to, Lamar can still do what he does best and play hero ball and be an amazing passer and have great pocket presence, which he does. So it's not hard. They've put 2 and 2 together and they're playing. They're at least this game they figured out and played well. The Cowboys. I was a little worried.
Cowboys are trash, bro. Cowboys are in deep trouble because they fell apart in this one. I know they almost came back, but I think I was just by the sheer testicular fortitude of the Cowboys because, oh man, they're in trouble.
They did score 3 straight touchdowns.
They did, but they shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. First off, I want to make a comment I noticed while watching the game. Shout out my girlfriend's grandpa, who I watched the game with. He's not even a Baltimore fan, but he's a Cowboys hater. He's a Washington fan, and he was hate watching the Cowboys. And I've never seen a man happier in my life for a Ravens victory. Even Ravens fans, this man was hopping up and down in his chair. He's like, it doesn't matter that they almost came back. They still lost. And I'm like, yeah, that's the spirit. I love it. He's like me and the Saints. I love hate watching and seeing a team I don't like lose.
It is a little concerning that they almost kind of did come back, but
I think that's a Ravens thing.
It is a Ravens. Well, it's both, right? Because Dak is not kind of your quarterback who's really known for comebacks, to be frank, like at all.
No, so they can't come back.
Yeah, but they almost did, but they didn't. They lost. And Dak overall does not look good, man. Like he's 25th in quarterback in offensive grade for quarterback per PFF. Yeah, he is not having a good year. He is down there with the likes of Daniel Jones right now and Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, Deshaun Watson.
Dallas as a whole. I mean, because think about it. Their one win is against a bum-ass Cleveland team. Outside of that win against Cleveland, they have looked bad. They got blown out by the Saints. They were getting blown out by the Ravens. They lost. The rushing game. Zeke is terrible. Terrible.
Run defense also.
CeeDee Lamb completely fell apart in this game. CeeDee Lamb had a crash out on national TV. Like it's bad. It's bad. It is really bad. Dallas. I mean, at least our Super Bowl prediction of Dallas Baltimore lived up to expectations because if that was a Super Bowl, that would have been wild. That would have been the almost 28-3.
As long as they lost.
I know they did. Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to get it together, but they got a big game this week against Buffalo. We'll get into that when we get into our game picks. We got 4 more games to talk about.
One second, real quick. I just want to say about CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, he looked terrible, and part of the reason why is Darius Washington, who is PFF's player of the game. He only logged 34 snaps, but he was just perfect. He was awesome.
Nice.
Forced 4 incompletions and only allowed 1 catch on 7 targets in this coverage.
So this game was, I think, the big game people were talking about after Sunday. But there were 2 other games in the late window that I think probably deserve to be discussed a little bit. First up, we had another really good defensive game between Detroit and Arizona. I thought this game was going to be high scoring. It was a low scoring defensive slugfest, and it was actually quite enjoyable. Arizona put up a good fight. Detroit's one of the best teams in the league, and they showed it. But Arizona might be legit because they played very, very well against a Detroit team, even though they came up short. Marvin Harrison had a good game. The defense had a good game. They shut down for much of the game that Detroit offense. Arizona so far has looked competitive in all 3 games they've played so far, even though they've lost 2 of them.
I agree. Yeah.
That's my take on this one. Detroit, good rebound win. I'm not concerned about the Lions yet because, Arizona is looking a lot better. But there are a few things that are giving me the jitters with them.
Yeah, they don't look as good as expected. And the reason, to be frank, is Jared Goff. Even in this game, I don't know. I genuinely could not tell you what is going on with him, but he does not look impressive whatsoever to me. Like, I just don't know really what the fuck what is going on with Goff. Where does PFF have him right now?
I have no idea.
With any context? Oh my God. Yeah, no, he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league per their grades. Yeah, he's bottom 5 The
Yeah,
only people below him are Caleb, Will Levis, Skylar Thompson, and Bryce Young. Those are the only people below Jared Goff right now in their offensive grade. Holy hell.
it's important to note that the Lions have only cracked scored more than 20 points once, and that they needed overtime to do that. So I need to see more from Detroit. They could be in trouble this with their Monday night game against Seattle, which I think is going to be a hell of a game. That's the game I'm eyeing, by the way, for the Seahawks. Like, if you want to prove you're legit, win that game. We'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah, for Arizona, just I'm not gonna really dock them too much. Really, just not great matchup, to be honest. Like, playing Detroit after a loss, they're always gonna be pissed off, and their line play in particular, like they don't have like they're going their offensive and defensive line. Arizona is pretty weak. Detroit that's their strength, so that's their best, that's their greatest thing. It just wasn't a great matchup for them. So I'm not too worried about them. I'm willing to be like, yeah, y'all lost. It's all right.
All right. The other really good game was Niners-Rams, which, okay, Los Angeles. Okay.
It shocked me.
Comeback of the week. Los Angeles came back from multiple scores down to win.
In the injury bowl.
In the injury bowl. Yeah. Thank you, Dakota, who's cooking up some she's making what was it? Beyond cheesesteaks right now for dinner. I'm in love with this woman. So I thought this game was going to be super ugly. I thought the Niners would take control. They almost did, but man, they fell apart. And oh boy, Kyron Williams went off for the Rams. Juwan Jennings went off for the Niners, and I had him on my bench.
Oh, that sucks, dude. He was phenomenal. Perfect pass rating when targeted.
I know, he's so good. It's Juwan Jennings has been about that life for a while. Okay,
yeah, because I've been a fan since he came into the league. Even though he was drafted in like the 7th round and didn't play like his first couple of years, I was like, he just needs a chance. I thought that about a lot of people, but I was right on him. So
I just remember that game against Tennessee, that game against Georgia when he was with the Volunteers, where he caught like a Hail Mary from Josh Dobbs to win the game. With it was one of the last games that what was his name? Oh crap! Hang on. He was the CBS announcer for years. He was oh man, why am I forgetting his name? It was V something. Vern Lundquist. One of Vern Lundquist's final games he called when he was retiring was that game. And his call of Juwan Jennings, him croaking it out in his old man voice is one of the best calls in like the history of college football. I've been a fan of Juwan Jennings, and he really, really impressed me. The Niners defense didn't impress me. They're injured to hell. How the hell do you fall apart like that when your own fans have completely taken over the stadium? Which, by the way, it's like Los Angeles, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah,
it's a home game, and the entire stadium is red because it's populated by Niners fans. This is why listen, the downfall of LA cannot come soon enough because no one goes to those games except for opposing fans. And now all the celebrities are about to be exposed or something. I don't know. There's something in the news. It was the Injury Bowl lived up to expectations. It was fun. And the Rams reminded me how good Tutu Atwell was because he kind of balled out.
What surprised me was actually the Rams defense. I kind of didn't expect them to be this good while this injured because they gotten really beat up. But they stepped up, and a lot of individual pieces look really good. I didn't expect them to win at all. I had them losing, and they did. They're both 1-2, but that's all I got for that. I
don't know. Yeah, this game I feel like got overshadowed by the Ravens-Cowboys game, which is a shame because it was a lot of fun. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Real quick, I want to cycle back to Ravens-Cowboys because there were a lot of purple shirts in that stadium. Yeah, that was a Cowboys home game, and I saw a lot more Ravens fans.
America's team hoop.
Yeah. All right. I've been holding off on it, but can we play that the clown song, please? Because ready for your goober of the week? Introducing your goober of the week, the Las Vegas Raiders for losing to the Carolina Panthers badly. How the fuck do you get blown out by the Panthers in your own stadium?
I don't have an explanation for why this game happened the way it did, but they got fucking annihilated.
I have an explanation.
Imagine like the roller coaster for Raiders fans right now. Like, oh my God, week 1, just awful. You might as well have given up the whole season week 1 with that specific decision I've already talked about. Week 2, beat the Baltimore Ravens. You beat the Baltimore Ravens. You came back against the Baltimore Ravens and won, and it looked incredible. Gardner Minshew looked amazing, and then here he looked awful, and you guys get smacked by a team with seemingly nothing to play for. But man, Andy Dalton came in there and threw 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and played really well. Like, he's given life to the team, and I'm glad that they made that decision to go with him. I don't know what to make of the Raiders, but it looks like I'm going to assume that they're going to be trash going forward, and that the Ravens game was a fluke, and that it was just like the Ravens let it slip through their fingers, and the Raiders are just going to be trash. Yeah, basically, like per usual now. Don't talk to me about history, Bucks fan.
Oh God, okay. I'll see you on Thursday Night Football in a couple weeks. Here's my explanation. First off, you were right at the beginning of the year. Remember we were talking about the AFC West, and you talked about how the Raiders were going to be trash this year. You may be right, because that was bad.
Did you say otherwise?
Yeah, I said the Raiders were going to be competitive. I thought that they were going to play hard for their coach, and I thought they would, because their first 2 games they didn't look too bad. I mean, they weren't great, and that punting decision in week 1 was terrible.
That was on the coach, though. That's not to say they wouldn't play for him, but week 3 he's calling people out now.
He's saying like that they had. Antonio Pierce was on. He said that players were making business decisions out there. It's like, bro, throwing your players under the bus is like rule number 1 of things not to do in the NFL. Yeah. If you want to lose the locker room, there you go. You just did it.
He needs to. Yeah, exactly. He needs to take some lessons from the Andy Reid coaching tree. All those guys are like responsible coaches.
Oh yeah. On the other hand, the Panthers. So it was Bryce Young all along, because same offensive scheme. Same offensive scheme, same skill players, same playbook. Change quarterbacks. Andy Dalton goes off.
Okay. Yes. Like, Bryce Young is the worst graded quarterback in the league right now. Yeah. Given everything we've seen. Whether or not it's his fault, there's just nothing there right now. So, yes, the difference is quarterback play for sure. With competent quarterback play, the Panthers won. Bryce Young was terrible. Andy Dalton played really well. We'll see if this continues for Carolina, but they got the first win of the season.
It probably won't continue for them, because Andy Dalton is not great.
Yeah, I know Hadass is not great, but
he's well past his prime. But this is weird, because usually I hate when my division, but I'm actually happy for Carolina that they got a win and proved everybody wrong. They're still one of the worst teams in the league, I feel like, and I feel like they're still going to finish with like 3 wins. But good for them to get that first one, and congratulations to the Raiders for being Goober of the Week.
Trash.
Let's wrap up Week 3 discussion with Sunday Night Football, where the Chiefs took down the Falcons. And okay, so first up, shout out to the Falcons. They played their asses off to try and beat the Chiefs. But I finally, and my mom is gonna hate this. I have finally come to the realization that the Chiefs are getting a little extra help from somebody, because holy shit, they got away with some. The refs made a call in this game. They did not make a pass interference call right in front of everybody. And I finally am starting to see. I'm not saying that every call against the Chiefs. Is ref ball.
Of course not. Yeah, no.
But man, that was some bullshit. And this is coming from a guy who likes the Chiefs. I'm like, dude, call the game the same way you would call it for both teams, bro. Because not only is this shit making people hate the Chiefs, it's now making me, a Chiefs fan, be like, damn, they got to get humble real quick. Because so far this season, the Chiefs have played 3 games, and all 3 have come down to the wire. The Chiefs, for whatever, and to be fair, they've had a tough schedule. They've played the Ravens, they've played the Bengals, and now they've played the Falcons. 3 teams that are all expected to be really good this year. And for Falcons, I don't know what to say for the Falcons, because they played their hearts out and they still lost. I'm not saying it was because of that call in the end zone that they lost. There were other reasons that they lost too. Like Kirk Cousins had a couple of bad picks, but
I don't think Atlanta looks that good. And to be frank, given, oh man, you got to tell me how you feel about this, but the Chiefs, right? Like the Chiefs. Oh man, I'm trying to wrap my head around the Chiefs, to be frank, this year, because it's like they look good I think they're the best team in football, not named the Buffalo Bills when Josh Allen plays like MVP. No, the Chiefs are still the best team in the league, man. Like they are, but something about them is a little bit sus. They are getting away with so much, and you change one play from each game, and these are all losses.
They
And
cannot. They can't win games comfortably.
Or one call, depending.
You know what it reminds me of? Last year's Eagles. Last year's Eagles could not, for the life of them, win games by more than one score. They kept having to win games by one-score games, and it finally caught up to them at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, well they fell apart. They couldn't win at all after San Francisco exposed the Eagles for the frauds that they were, and we're like, oh, you guys, your linebackers are hilarious. We're just gonna run double Devos up the middle. Good luck stopping both him and them and Ayuk. And Philadelphia's defensive coordinator was like, what's an Ayuk? And that was that, and that was the end. Like, what's a Devo? I've never heard of it.
Go ahead.
The Chiefs. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm thinking the Chiefs. I don't think they're going to suffer. They're Andy Reid, right? Like they're not going to suffer that kind of collapse. But at the same time, it's like the Eagles were winning games too close and not playing well to do it and getting away with a lot, which and everyone, people knew. It's like, all right, as soon as that starts to catch up with them, what do you actually have? Because you're winning, but the things are not looking impressive. The Chiefs right now are winning. They almost lose to the Ravens. Fair enough. They almost lose to the Bengals. Fair enough. Maybe. I don't know. The Bengals could be ass. And they almost lose to the Falcons. I mean, these games are all so competitive, and it's like you change one call or one play. And you can say this about most games. I understand this. But still, like oh man, I don't know. The Chiefs are still my, number one team right now. I think they're going to be fine, but they could be better than they are. There are some holes here that are appearing, and we will see if they catches up to them or not.
Well, my dad made a bet with my brother for $50 that the Chiefs would run the table and win the Super Bowl again. So I don't know. Every week, my dad.
I thought you said that was to go undefeated.
Yeah, run the table.
Oh, you mean okay? Yeah, go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. All right, I understand.
I told Dakota's grandpa that, and he laughed. I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if that's going to last because the Chiefs' schedule is insane." So. If they somehow manage to go undefeated the entire season, like this Chiefs team would be good.
Hot take.
Go ahead.
The Chiefs' schedule is not that bad. They have the Chargers next. After that, the Saints. The Saints might be difficult. Then they have the Niners. That's obviously a very difficult matchup. Then they have the Raiders, the Bucks, the Broncos.
Oh, no, we play them? Oh no.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna be torn in half again.
They go to Buffalo. That'll be a difficult one. But then they get to go to Carolina the week after, and they follow it up with just the easiest, like Carolina, Raiders, Chargers, Browns, back to back, and then Texans difficult matchup. We'll see how good the Steelers are by week 17, but that's there, and then they finish against the Broncos. When you're in the easiest division in football, it doesn't matter if you have a first place schedule. You're gonna play 6 easy games a year, and they play a lot more. They also play the NFC South.
Oh no! Wait, they do. Oh, they do play the NFC South. Oh. Oh,
we
no.
get to see the Chiefs against the Panthers. They might go for 100. They might score 100 points.
Oh, boy. Okay, well. Oh, boy. All right. Let's from there, let's go into our week 4 game picks because we've got plenty to talk about here. Last week, everyone did kind of meh. Mainly, but I will say that I made some good picks. I won the week at 9-7. With Dakota finishing 8-8, and Noam, you were 6-10.
I was terrible this week. I was terrible the last 2 weeks, dude. I have a losing record this year. I'm actually horrible.
Yeah, I'll have to calculate the overall records for us. But let's kick things off with week 4. We got some interesting matchups this week. We've also got some shitty matchups. And then we got whatever the fuck this Thursday Night Football matchup is. I am convinced at this point that the NFL wants to get rid of Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. They have recognized the error of their ways because why the hell do we have to watch Dallas and the Giants on Thursday Night Football?
I think that will be closer than you think.
I think it also might be closer than you think.
I know. I'm picking Dallas to win still because it's Danny Derps, but like...
Oh, I'm still picking Dallas to win, but I think it'll be a better game than you think it is.
So Dakota's going Dallas. What about you, Noam?
Am I reading this right? Are the Giants favored?
Are they? Oh, no.
Can you confirm this for me?
What?
Yeah, I'm going to ESPN right now.
What?
Are they favored?
The Giants might be favored in this game. What?
Okay, but remember the first game of the season, I think Dallas played the Browns, and the Browns were favored to win, and Dallas kicked their ass.
That can't be right. I got to be reading this wrong, dude.
Nah, Dallas is favored.
Okay, thank God.
But it's close, though. And it's close for a reason, because the Giants, if the Giants use their pieces the right way, and by that I mean throw to Malik Neighbors and run the football, yeah, they might have a chance. The Giants might legit have a chance here. I'm picking Dallas, but the Giants legit could have a really good chance to win this game. And if the Giants do, they might have turned a corner. Then again, Dallas is also if Dallas loses this game, Dallas is in shambles because
Dallas loses the game, they might finally break the cycle of making it to the first round of the playoffs and losing.
Yeah.
No. Dallas will never break the cycle of first round exits. That will happen forever.
You want to bet now?
Not really. They're terrible. But I don't know that they are. I feel like they match up pretty well against the Giants, and they're a lot better than them anyways. So I'm going to go with Dallas for my pick.
All right. We're all going Dallas. We kick off Sunday's early slate of games with one of the most hated rivalries in the league. And these two teams hate each other. Saints-Falcons. This is an interesting matchup considering both of the hype surrounding both of these teams. Now, as a Bucs fan, I wish these two teams could both lose or tie, but I can't make that pick. So I am just going to go out on a limb here and say that the Falcons get the win. Please.
I'm waiting for no.
Saints.
No. Saints?
Yep.
Babe?
Saints.
I think the defense matches up really well, and with Atlanta not necessarily having a bunch of answers right now on offense, I think they're going to win. But it could be a trap game. But right now, I have the Saints. Saints are still pretty solid, I think.
If you're wondering why I keep glancing over, it's because the Fever and Sun are playing each other right now. Sun are starting to cut back into the lead, but Fever had jumped out to a big lead to start the game. They need to win this. Rams at Bears. An injury-riddled Los Angeles Rams team heads to Chicago to face Caleb Williams and the Bears. Now, with the Rams being injury-riddled, I do think that Caleb Williams will have a tiny bit of an easier time because their defense is riddled with injuries. I still think he's going to get pressured to hell. I'm going to take the Rams to win, but I think Chicago is going to keep this one close. I'm not super confident about the Bears with their O-line play. Their O-line play scares me. Was that Rams you said?
Yes.
Yep. Dakota's going Rams. What do you got, Noam?
Sorry on Rams Bears. Why would they? Oh man, hold up. Let me check the injuries real quick because the Rams are super injured. Let's see. No Josh Johnson. No Cooper Kupp. No Lion is hurt too. The Lion's ass. Oh damn. Bears are banged up too. A lot of questionable. Most of these guys will be fine, I think. And they're not. PFF actually has Bears winning this, but I can't see it. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears pull an upset because the Bears have been surprisingly competitive in their first three games. Their first three games have been one-score contests. The problem has been that they're kind of getting into these situations in the most bullshit ways imaginable. So I wouldn't be surprised. All right. This is the big game of the week for me. Vikings and Packers. Jordan Love presumably coming back this week, facing off against the hottest team in the NFL. This game, I think, is going to be fucking phenomenal. But you know me.
Both teams look so hot, dude.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
I want the rematch in Minnesota to be a primetime game, all right? This 1 o'clock bullshit pisses me off. I know it's early in the season. They can't flex games yet. But, man, this is better than both Monday night matchups. Give me Vikings. I'm on board. Give me the 99 Rams reincarnated, bro. Let's go Vikings. Skol, baby. Skol.
I thought Love was coming back, but it looks like he's still questionable. I think he'll be back. Will he be back?
I thought he was like out 4 to 6 weeks.
He's questionable. He's questionable for the game.
All right.
They do look a little bit injured though. Kenny Clark, Josh Myers, Jair Alexander, everyone here is questionable. They're probably still gonna play. Oh man. Instinct is Vikings. Going Vikings.
Vikings?
Yep.
Okay, what we got?
I had all that time to think, and I still don't know.
Dude, they're so close to me. Like they're so close. Like to me, these teams are neck and neck.
Flip a coin and decide this. So you know what? You guys took Vikings. I'm taking Packers.
There we go. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I love it when someone picks up the
winning. It really is like a 49-51. Me. Like
yeah.
I just don't know which one's the 49 right now.
Me neither.
All right. Steelers and Colts, baby. Number one defense in the league versus a Colts team that has been hot and cold. I'm taking Pittsburgh. Their defense is so good. And poor Anthony Richardson might get his bell rung for this game. So give me the Steelers.
Trying to see if there's literally any reason to go with the Colts.
No.
Because I really would like them to lose. I mean,
That's not weird, bro. That's not weird at all. You're a Ravens fan. Look at what shirt you're wearing.
I'm well aware. I'm not claiming to be anything else. Like, I'm looking for a reason. Give me a reason to take the team that isn't the Steelers. No, give me Pittsburgh. Give me Pittsburgh.
Babe?
Pittsburgh.
Okay. Broncos travel after the big upset against the Bucs. The Broncos travel to the confines of MetLife Stadium to face off against the New York Jets. I hope Aaron Rodgers torches them for nearly 600 yards. Give me the Jets.
I don't think they're about to do it again. Give me the Jets.
You taking the Jets? All right.
Yeah, I don't think they can do it again. They surprised a team that's way better than them. I don't think they can do it again.
Well, the Bucs are at home facing off against the Eagles on America's Game of the Week over on Fox. Thank God they got Tom Brady out of Dallas because he's actually been a very solid commentator. I really like Tom Brady as a commentator. He's doing a really good job, which I'm mad about because it's like, damn, he's so perfect at everything, man. Except marriage. And oh God, he better hope that he doesn't get named on the Diddy's list. Anyway. Normally I pick my Bucs for their games, man, but I'm taking the Eagles to win this one. Give me I don't know. I feel like this is going to be really close, and I think the Bucs have a good shot, but I'm taking Philly. We don't match up well in the regular season against the Eagles. This is a wild card game rematch. I feel like the Eagles are going to be playing with some vitriol, and if Saquon keeps playing the way that he's been playing this season, like the Eagles should win this.
Completely agree. Except, oh no, yes. Oh, what that would be if half of these players do not play that are questionable right now for the Bucs: Godwin, Tristan Wirfs, Vita Vea, Mike Evans, the left Luke Godke, Antoine Winfield. If half of them do not play,
wait, that's like all our good players.
Yeah, if half of them don't play, y'all are screwed. And I think the Eagles already have an advantage. I'm going to take Philadelphia as well.
Babe.
I really want to take the Bucs, and I was really going to before Noam started listing off all these people.
They're questionable. They might all play. You never know.
But you know what? I'm liking this underdog thing today. I'm taking the Bucs.
Taking the Bucs. Hell yeah.
For questionable, it's like I feel like 60% of the time they play if they're questionable. I feel like
if the Eagles that played last week show up, I feel like the Bucs have a decent shot, especially with AJ Brown still out. I think.
Yeah, I believe he's still out.
Oh, we have a shot. It's the Eagles used to be the team I hated the most. I hated them more than the Saints. So it's crazy to think that I used to hate the Eagles. I actually don't mind them now. I actually kind of like them.
I hate the Eagles.
Well, I know you do.
I kind of like I like the Eagles a lot too. And I actually kind of like the Bucs, but I feel like they have a good. The Bucs have a decent chance of making this an upset, but I don't think they will. So yeah, give me Philly.
All right, Bengals Panthers is up next. Cincinnati trying desperately to get a win this year. They have to go up against the worst team in the league and the Panthers, who are coming off a huge upset. I think the Bengals snap the streak. I think they get their first win of the season, but I think that they'll do it pretty comfortably. I don't know though. That defense has got to come through because you never know. It's not a given because what the Panthers did last week. So, but I'm taking Cincinnati.
Same with me.
Panther. Oh my God, she's taking the Panthers.
I would love that, by the way. I would absolutely love the Panthers to win here. I think that would be fucking amazing, and I really want to take them. I can't trust that they're going to do this again.
Don't be a
biatch. The Bengals can't tackle, but can they do this twice? Can the Panthers do this twice? They're still in purgatory.
Come here.
Okay, Panthers.
It's your first appearance on camera. Come here.
I'm Panthers.
Hi, everyone. This is Dakota. It's my girlfriend. She was the one who makes picks now.
Hi.
Yeah.
No, take the Panthers.
Panthers.
All right.
I don't want to believe they'll fucking do it again.
Believe no.
Fucking goofy video.
Fucking start. 0-4 Cincinnati, please. Yes, that'd be great.
That's that goofy video. It's like, I'll do it again. The Panthers. This week's next up, we've got Jags at Texans. This is this week's, oh, God, for the love of God, throwing the damn towel game.
This is going to be the most interceptions ever thrown.
Oh, man, dude. Houston is going to kill them. I'm taking the Texans. You think Houston's all pissed off from losing their first game? Houston needs a statement win to prove that they're a good team because they have not played comfortably in their first 3 games. So I'm taking the Texans to win this one huge. To be fair, the last 2 games that I picked to be the murder game where somebody gets their ass kicked did not end up being murder games. They ended up being really close games. So this, by that logic, this game is going to turn into like the closest game of the year.
It's hard to imagine Jacksonville figures it out this week. I'm going to take the Texans, and I actually agree that this might be a blowout. I bet the Texans are really pissed off right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They're supposed to be one of the best teams in the league, and they barely beat a mediocre Colts team. They barely beat a bad Chicago team, and then they got blown out by the Vikings, who were expected to be terrible. Yeah, the Houston needs a huge win, and what better way to do it than beating the crap out of an inferior division rival? Babe?
I am also taking the Texans.
Excellent. All right, late games. We start things off. Washington, off their huge win over the Bengals, travels to Arizona to face the Cardinals. This game, I think, is going to be really interesting.
I think that rivals game of the week right there.
Yeah.
If the Washington that played last week shows up, I think that proves to be a good game.
I think they will, and I'm taking Washington in my upset of the week. Washington beats the Cardinals.
You know who I'm taking.
I don't think it's much of an upset. Like, yes, Arizona is favored. Record-wise, they're 1-2. Washington's 2-1. And to me, I have these teams neck and neck. I think Arizona is the slightest bit better right now, and Kyler Murray is still better than Jaden Daniels, and they're both playing teams without defenses. I think Washington has a bigger chance of figuring it out than Arizona does, but I'm going to take Arizona.
All right.
No, I didn't.
The Patriots travel to San Francisco to face the 49ers.
Stop it.
Look, I know San Francisco is injured to hell, but what?
Stop. Just we can come on. No one's taking the Patriots for this. Nobody's taking the Patriots, right? Is anyone taking the Patriots?
No. I think San Francisco starts to turn it around. Don't you dare. Niners.
I'm kidding. I'm taking San Francisco.
Yeah, no. I mean, Patriots look scrappy at first, but I feel like the real Patriots are the team we saw against the Jets, and that they are a rebuilding team that is going to lose a lot. And this is definitely going to be one of those losses because San Francisco is going to be pissed off after starting 1-2.
PFF has San Francisco at 10-point favorites.
Oh God, they better. If San Francisco blows it, ring the alarm bells. But they are injured.
For sure. Yeah,
I'll give them.
Yeah.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt because they are injured.
Back till 2025, are they?
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, McCaffrey's out for the year basically.
Not the season, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely the year.
All right. Speaking of out for the year, I'll talk about this in a second. We've got the ain't nobody watching that shit game of the week. The Browns and the Raiders.
Ugh, yuck.
Why would I want to watch 2 of the worst teams in football play each other? Why would you?
Entertaining.
But with that being said, because the Browns continue to employ a rapist as their quarterback, I will take the Raiders to win this game. Also, where is Nick Chubb? Is he still hurt?
Yeah.
He still is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, Nick Chubb is still injured? I didn't realize how bad that injury last year was. But, yeah, without Nick Chubb and, Raiders. They better win this game. They need to win this game after whatever the hell last week was, because they will be eternal goobers of the year if they lose again. So I'm taking.
PFF has them favored by a single point, and Cleveland I think is way more talented than the Raiders are, but no, I'm gonna take the Raiders.
Babe,
both teams in shambles though.
I think Cleveland is better than the Raiders. However, I despise Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So I'll be taking the Raiders.
Oh, yes, you do. All right, the big CBS game of the week. It's an AFC West showdown as the Chiefs battled the Chargers. Now, a bit of controversy in this game. If you didn't see the news, Derwin James got suspended by the league for an illegal hit in the Steelers game. While the league did say that they would suspend players who did intentional helmet-to-helmet contact, and Derwin James is kind of built like that because he's not built for this era of the NFL. He's built for the old era where you can make those kind of hits. There is a conspiracy going around that they took him out because he's the one guy who could shut down Travis Kelce. Which
Travis Kelce's been getting shut down all season.
exactly, which is dumb because Travis Kelce's been having a terrible year. I'm on the verge of benching him in my fantasy team.
I think Derwin James does usually do pretty well against him, though.
He does. He's
He
like
just
the one
matches up
guy
well
who
in
can
like
shut down
physicality.
Travis Kelce. So
I wouldn't say the one, but I'd say he matches up well. Travis has definitely gotten the better of him before.
he has. Anyway, I'm picking the Chiefs for this one because the Chargers, I don't think are ready. It's going to be close.
Herbert's also
It's going to be close because Herbert is hurt, and the Chargers are going to have to lean heavily on J.K. Dobbins, who is injury prone. But I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this.
Mahomes has not looked very good, but I don't think that matters. Give me Kansas City 4-0 start.
Okay, I have a question though. Is Herbert ruled out yet, or is he still questionable?
Is Herbert?
Let me check.
I think he's questionable.
Justin Herbert
I
is
have a-
questionable. Questionable right now.
Okay, I have a conditional pick. I'm taking the Chiefs. However, if Taylor Heineke starts, I'm taking the Chargers because my man Heineke. That's my conditional pick. Take it or leave it.
Leave it. He's terrible.
Leave it. Yeah, you're taking the Chiefs.
Yes, I'm taking the Chiefs. But
Herbert hasn't even been playing that well, but neither has Mahomes, to be frank.
Heineke.
She saw Heineke.
I know. I'm just saying he's still better.
Herbert and
Herbert's
squealed
still
like a little
better
girl.
than Heineke.
All right. All right, Noam, here's your game of the week. Sunday Night Football. Buffalo and Baltimore in Baltimore on blackout night for the Ravens. Oh, boy.
Right. So, most people I imagine would be taking the Bills here, and I think the Bills are better than the Ravens.
Right.
I think that the Ravens will win this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Babe,
What's your pick?
you go first.
Oh, I'm picking the Ravens.
The Ravens. Buffalo is the superior team. The Bills are playing insanely good right now. But do you know how many undefeated teams have waltzed into Baltimore on blackout night, on Edgar Allan Poe night, and gotten the shit kicked out of them? Flashback, 2019, undefeated Patriots marched into Baltimore and got their asses handed to them by Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. Give me Baltimore to knock the Bills down.
That was a
on blackout
fucking
night.
amazing game. The reason I say that is just because what you just said, combined with the fact that the Bills' defense is not a defense that I trust right now, and I feel like the Ravens are in a perfect position to expose that if they've truly figured out what they're going to do, like offensively, they can run right through them, I feel like. So I just feel like it's a very good likelihood that they're going to win.
This game is going to. All right, Monday Night Football. First up, we've got a tank bowl as the Tennessee Titans travel to Miami to face off against the Dolphins on Monday night. If you remember this matchup from last year, this was the game in which Will Levis had his coming out party and led the Titans to an insane last minute comeback against the Dolphins. Not this year. This year, Will Levis looks like shit. He's facing a Dolphins team that will most likely be starting Tyler Huntley. And even though the Dolphins are down Tua, I'm still picking Miami, man, because they're not going to let it happen two years in a row, losing to the Titans at home. I will take the Dolphins to get the win here, but Tyler Huntley has to start because Skylar Thompson ate it.
So you also have a conditional pick.
Yeah.
Are we doing those? Does that count?
No, they don't.
I'm just.
Okay.
It counts if my.
Can they both somehow lose? Like
They
God,
could
these
tie.
teams are awful. Let me see what's Tua's status right now. Nope, IR. Never mind.
Yeah, Tua's out, bro. Tua's not coming back for a while.
Yeah.
Get him over 4 weeks, but likely this season.
I think Miami is definitely better. Teron Armstead questionable. Kevin Fulton questionable. Rhett Mostert questionable. Skylar Thompson questionable. Yeah, if Huntley, either way, they should start Huntley. And I'm going to take the Titans. I want to see Tyler Huntley beat the Titans, of course. But I'm going to take the.
Tennessee was ranked worst team in the league by the NFL Power Rankings. So
I have Miami as the worst team in the league. So
Babe, who you got? Titans. All right. Finally, our last game of the week, another Monday night doubleheader. This week, we've got Seattle and Detroit, a very interesting game. Detroit will be debuting their all-black uniforms, finally, against the Seahawks, who are looking to prove that they are legit after a surprising 3-0 start that shocked a lot of people. I think Detroit is winning this game. I'm picking the Lions, but it's going to be close because Seattle is going to make this very uncomfortable because the Seahawks have looked really good. And I know it's because they have played some garbage teams. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Dolphins and the Patriots. They have played some garbage-ass teams to start the season off, but they've still looked really good while beating those garbage-ass teams. They haven't the Patriots one did go to overtime, but I think that's more because the Patriots are playing really scrappy.
They played really well that game.
And that Broncos game, they held the Broncos without a touchdown until like the final seconds when they scored a garbage time touchdown to make it a one-score game. So Seattle, I feel like, can play the Lions very well in this. I'm picking Detroit, though, because I feel like Detroit, they need a big win. This could be a chance for them. They're getting a Monday Night Football game. Detroit doesn't get Monday Night Football games that often. So that's
how much I want to take Seattle here?
How much?
Like, Jesus, very much. I very much want Seattle to win, but I think about their job, okay? They went against week 1 Bo Nix and won by 1 score. They against the New England Patriots, maybe the worst team in the league, and won by a field goal. And then they just, they crushed the Tua-less Dolphins, right? Now, don't get me wrong. They've looked good. Geno looks really, really good. But now you're expecting them. They need to play a real team. But this is not just any real team. You're going into Detroit after a loss. And think about Detroit's, the Lions' whole personality with Dan Campbell. I think they have their work extremely cut out for them. I'm going to take Detroit. Although I would love the Seahawks to prove me wrong.
I think we got clean sweep for Detroit. Okay. We'll see how everybody does at the end of week 4. All right. Well, with that being said, that is going to wrap things up for episode 120. And with that, that'll wrap up our time as participants here on StreamYard. Once again, we will be switching to a new broadcasting partner beginning with next week's show. I will be working on setting that up. Shout out to Mike, the head of Fired Up Sports, for getting the deal done. I'm going to work with him on getting the new software up, but a huge shout out to StreamYard for all they've done to us. We will always be appreciative of StreamYard for helping us with our broadcasting for a good chunk of this show's existence. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. As always, we are a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Podcast Network. You can check out all of their other shows, including our good friends over at Bell Smashers. Hi, Kylie. Follow us on all of our socials at @bbsports_pod and check out our x.com bio for merch. Check out our Twitter bio for merch. We'll give you guys updates about new Lamar Jackson merch coming out when it comes out. We have it in the works. I'm being as transparent as I can right now. We're working on getting it. Whether or not it comes out, we'll let you know. We'll keep you updated. But in the meantime, I'm Isaac. That's Gnome. I want to go eat dinner. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode.
See you guys.
Later.
Bye now.